Hey guys, how you doing? This is Vendetta, and we're going to be playing some Shogun 2, and this is going to be a Fall of the Samurai battle. So if you are a bit butthurt about Fall of the Samurai, please turn away now. But this was a good match, and it's between me and Main Waring. So Main Waring, I've been promising Mr. Man, I've been promising to do this for ages for him, because it was a very good battle. I thought it was a good battle. We're playing on the Caldera, which is a very odd map because, yeah, it's just got that puddle of water in the middle, and then it's got a ring of trees. But it's a nice map nonetheless. I think you can actually run through that kind of puddle in the middle. I say it's a puddle, but it's more of like a giant pond, lake, whatever take your fancy. So, as I said, this is a Fall of the Samurai battle, and the armies are pretty big. Now, let's go see what Mr. Vendetta has brung. So I've got some Tosa Riflemen, which are of course an excellent unit to be bringing, and I'll go into more detail with them later. We've got some Yariki. I think I've only got one Yariki unit. Yes, I have. And then we've got some White Bear, and White Bear. So I've got three White Bears, all with some pretty decent stats, some good reloads, some pretty decent accuracy, but not the best. And then I've got three Katana Kachi, along with three Spear Levy, four Spear Levy actually, and then Captain J Cabinet. So that's him over here. He keeps on swapping between the Mr. Old Cabinet. I don't know what's going on there. And I think that's it for my army. Yeah. So we'll go with the Main Waring. Main Waring has brought with him some. Oh, he's got a nice reload general there. Actually, I think my general's kind of the same, so I don't know why I'm so surprised. But he's got some very beast stats, from 95 reload skill. You know what? I just think that kind of Fall of the Samurai generals are OP as FUCK. But he's got some Black Bears, Black Bears, Black Bears, and Black Bears. So four of those guys. See if he's got any more on this. He's got some Red Bears, Red Bears, and some more Red Bears. I like how he called them Infantry Day Sigu. I kind of like that he did that, because whenever you kind of name a unit that sounds roughly like another, it can screw with my head just a little bit. So guys, if you are playing against me, that's a good weakness I have. So we're going to be fighting over the workshop, the archery dojo, and the farmhouse. I like how the archery dojo is actually somewhere useful for a change. So it's actually in the middle of the two armies rather than just balanced on one side. Because that's one thing I have a big beef with this game. It's just the unfairness of some of the key buildings is just ludicrous, because these things can be very overpowered and they are huge game changers. Yet an army could have I don't know, like the morale shrine. They could incidentally bring a monk army, which kind of screws you over multiple times just in one match. But he's going to be pulling over all of his units, so we'll fast forward it a tad. And I'm going to be setting up shop on this ridge here, because I really want this archery dojo. And what I have to do, I shouldn't be running up the side. I should be charging up as quick as I can to try and secure this archery dojo. But his main advantage is that he's bought more skirmishing units than me, and I've bought more of a melee. See, this is more or less what I like to do. I'll go to that in a second. Now I see that his general is wide open for a good bit of bumming, and his red bears are going to be setting up, and I'm like, oh no, 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 come on, come on, come on, Yariki. And then at this point I was just like, oh shit, his red bears just annihilated me. And then, oh yeah, yeah, you got three Yariki hiding, and I don't think I'm not even going to be able to touch his general, and his Yariki going to go screaming down the hill. Oh my goodness, he's actually got four Yariki. So automatically at this stage of the game I'm thinking, shit, I might have lost this. Vendetta, you're an absolute tool. And again, another thing I've said before is that if I was a real general, I would have a huge, huge reputation for screwing over my own cavalry. So I do. I throw them away far too early and far too quickly. I'd say that's possibly my biggest downfall when playing on this game. Now, I'm no pro. Just want to point out, I am definitely no pro at this game. I'd say I was more of an average player, but dang, I need to stop throwing them away. Now, the only good thing I would say about this so far is that I have got my Toaster Riflemen. As I said, I would go into them a little bit later. These guys got 150 range, 85 reload skill, and they've got some fairly decent accuracy along with ammunition. Now, if you watch the 2v2 with the AI, these guys tore through the enemy, where I beat those two other Fall of the Samurai players with an AI ally, which was pretty good. So I'm going to be tearing into him. I think he might have just scooted up his men just a little bit. But as you can see, I've already taken out 60 of his men. These guys have already taken out, what, about another 80 it looks like. And, you know, I'm really not feeling the pain at all here. So I'm going to be charging around my Spear Levy because I don't want to get shot at by his Red Bears. So I'll put them awkwardly on this flank, and he's going to be firing straight into my Spear Levy. Now I wanted to bring these guys down just so I can protect against him capturing this Archery Dojo, because as I said in the previous video with the 2v2 with delay, I would much rather, you know, the kind of game was balanced and the fact that nobody had control of the key buildings rather than one of us having control. I'd actually much rather that, because then it comes down to more pure skill and kind of base stats rather than just, you know, in-game, oh, I've got the overpowered, you know, Morale Shrine or Sword Dojo or Archery Dojo or whatnot. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to kind of be doing a bit of a kiting move. So I'm going to be charging up my Tosa Rifleman, taking some nice pot shots with that 150 range, and making main wearing kind of get a bit frustrated, because I'm not going to lie, I would very much get frustrated if I was getting kited. What I'm going to do is I'm then going to pull forward my White Bears. I should be charging these Tosa Riflemen back. Yes, I do. Because I want to keep these guys alive for as long as possible. Tosa Riflemen are such a good unit to bring. But they may have to remember they do cost a lot of dough. So I'm going to hide these guys down here so that they can't get shot at. But he's just going to simply reposition. So nice one, Vendetta. That was a very, very good and worthwhile move to make. And he's going to be poking into my White Bears. Now I'm kind of outgunned at the moment. He's got a lot more guns than me, and we're both in the forest, so this is going to be pretty difficult for me to try and actually get back from this. I'm going to have to play some pretty smart moves. Now if I were him, I'd probably be taking my cavalry all the way around the back, try and hit, basically flank with cavalry. That is possibly what I would do if I was main wearing, because it means that it's going to stretch Vendetta, me, it's going to stretch my force out a little bit. But what I have done is I've smartly kept my Spear Levy with some of my White Bear infantry just in case. Now I'm going to be charging here because, as you can see, he's only got one unit which is really going to be focusing down on me. Now I thought I did actually charge across my Spear Levy first, but it turns out I'm going to be charging in my Katana Kachi. This unit's caught out of position. Now if I was to do this again, I'd charge in a Spear Levy, and then I'd charge in a Spear Levy in a Katana unit from the back. And I actually know, now I understand why I did that. It's only just clicked. The reason I charged in the Katana Kachi first is because I wasn't going to get frontal charged by any cavalry. So I kept both my Spear Levy behind actually, so this would not occur. So he couldn't just simply charge into the rear of my Katana Kachi whilst I kind of just ripped into his units. Now it looks like the skirmishing battle is actually going pretty well. I've torn into these Black Bears really, really nicely. The White Bears on my side have sustained minimal losses, and I think my Tosa Riflemen, where are they? There they are. They are beginning to fire in, and it's going to pull these Black Bears back in, and they're going to be pretty unhappy at this stage in the game, because on both flanks their allies have kind of fled, but the White Bears on my side are going to be returning some fire, and this Black Bear should be pretty easy to deal with. Now my kind of melee force isn't going particularly well, as main wearing has just simply charged in all of his Yari Ki from behind, and it's been a pretty good move actually, because that means he's going to crush in all of my Katana Kachi, which is a nice move. But I did just manage to get rid of this Yari Ki, which charged into the back of these Spear Levy, which means I can now support my Katana Kachi with the Spear Levy. I then pull in my general, do a nice rally, and I'm going to be taking some nice pot shots at him as well. His line is pretty much broken now, so now I can actually maneuver my men a little bit better. I mean, these White Bears have only lost, what, 100... No, they've only lost about 13 men, which is not too bad. I still have my Spear Levy just in case his cavalry does decide to charge around the back. But he's going to be doing another frontal charge into these Spear Levy. This is by no means an easy game, and wow, that is a pretty good charge. And I think he does actually, yep, he manages to break, so it's a very good move. That's always something you should consider doing. I mean, it's not always the best idea to charge straight into, you know, spear units, but if you know they're low on morale, they're low on units, they've got a broken formation, by all means, charge straight in. And these Red Bears are going to be returning some fire, but really I think it's kind of a lost cause at the moment. They are shooting into the forest, which is of course not a good thing for any ranged unit. And I'm going to pull up Captain J Cabinet, and he shall be taking some nice pot shots. Oh, and getting a good number of kills there. So this is why I say that these guys are overpowered, because they have got some very, very nice stats, and you know they can actually take out fairly good sizable amount of men in just one volley, and Mainwaring is going to unfortunately be futilingly, is that even a word? He's going to be charging straight into my spear levy, and numerous amount of kind of cavalry on his flank are going to be killed. So that's kind of how the battle went, and I'm just going to be sat here taking some nice easy pot shots, and we have won the battle. So I do hope you've enjoyed this battle. It's been a very good battle. GG to Mainwaring. I did add him as a friend, by the way, because it was very nice. And that was an excellent battle. I did thoroughly enjoy it. It was very challenging, and I hope you did enjoy it too. So, but bye for now. We're going to go off the results screen. And here we are. So as you can see, I did bring 300 more men. That's most probably because I did bring the spear levy, but I did sustain. Was that 200 more? 200 less losses, should I say, than him. Let's go over see who did well, who did not. So the White Bear Infantry raked in 185 kills there. Total Rifleman closely followed with that 182. And Total Rifleman really did win that game for me because they poked down Mainwaring's army enough for me to then actually walk in with my White Bears, and really that was what the kind of deciding factor was, because you also have to remember that Fall of the Samurai, one of the reasons I hate it personally, I mean I do like it, it's a good expansion, but one of the reasons why I do hate it is that it mainly comes down to who's going to attack who first. If you step into the firing range of your enemy first, he's going to get the first volley off, which means you'll have less men to fire back with. So it's always, and this is kind of leading up to my point why I don't like Fall of the Samurai as much online, because everyone plays a very conservative style gameplay. Everyone doesn't want to be the first person to walk into the gun sights of the enemy first. So you kind of have a big stalemate. But the Total Rifleman, if you've got 150 ranged unit, that is definitely a good reason to bring a 150 ranged unit. It's purely just to force your enemy forward. That's all it is. And that's definitely what the Total Rifleman did there for me. I mean, even the Katana-Kachi there, getting in good 130 kills each, which is nice. The Lead Spitters there, getting 81. The White Bears, called White, 105. So they've got a good, nice spread of kills there. And Mainwaring his Infantry Dissejunen Her, and the other guys, they also got 120, 130 kills each, which is nice. But it's probably the Yariki which most probably let him down just a little bit. He should have really used those guys a little bit more, so like a flanking, because that would have averted my attention. And also trying not to split up where my melee force really kind of caught him off guard on that flank there, prevented him from supporting any of the other flank who are actually engaged in a proper gun battle. But I hope you did enjoy that match. It was a good one. It's a tough one to play, and I'll try and bring you guys a few more battles as the weeks progress. Now, I mean, I'm recording this from Monday, so I think it's the 20th of May. I was about to say June then. Oh, that's a bit scary. But yeah, it's about the 20th. So I'll probably bring this this battle out in a couple of days' time or something. But during the next 2-3 weeks, I have now got the main meat of my exams, and it will be pretty tricky, just to say, to do some Shogun 2. But I'm promising you, afterwards, we have got loads of Shogun 2 stuff going on. The second channel will be up, Vendetta Gaming. And for all of you that don't know, Vendetta Gaming is going to be consisting of stuff like Battlefield 3, League of Legends, Funcast as well. So if you want me to play a game, I'll air it for you. Because I want to have this as my Shogun 2 or just Total War generally channel. So I hope you've enjoyed, and bye for now.